Leo. All about Leo. I think it goes without saying that Leos are one of the most well-known signs. And I think the most typical things that are said about Leos is like Leos are maybe egotistical, or they always want attention on them. But let's look at this from an energetics perspective, and let's look at it from a way that is not so, that's more neutral, I say. Leos are probably one of those signs that when they put their mind to something, they're going to keep going. They're not going to stop. And even the way that they come across, or how they portray themselves, they're generally someone that is unavoidable. Even if they were to be silent, people will naturally draw to them. Hey, what are you wearing? I like this, or I like what you're, something, or I like your hairstyle, or speaking of hair, like generally Leos, they generally have really noticeable hair. And even if they don't have hair, there's something about their head or something that makes them, makes you very drawn to them. Almost like they're glowing, they have like a superstar energy. So a lot of the time, because they have this natural attention drawn to them, they play with it. And there's also an intrinsic understanding that they know that is something that's how they exist. And be it masculine or feminine, there is this knowing, right? And because it's literally under the sign of the sun, an element that is something that is very important to the earth, it's not a surprise that the sign itself, or those who are born underneath this sign, have the attention that it does. Because it is a fixed sign, it's very similar to its other fixed signed friends, let's call them. So the other fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So most times when it comes to a degree of loyalty, a degree of pushing things through, or being dedicated to a personal thing, they're very good at this. And because Leo falls under this, the way they manifest this kind of fixed energy is that they're very creative. They're very good with ideas. They're very good at, bringing people together, sorting out things, leadership skills, knowing how people are. And oftentimes with this kind of generic understanding of Leos, of like, oh, they're so full of themselves, these things, which is a fair statement to make, but it's not sophisticated enough. But like, just to get it off your chest, I guess that would make sense. But when we look at it deeper, every sign is important, every single one, and everyone is almost bouncing off of each other and has an essence of each other. Now, when you have the sun in your chart, you do generally show up as somebody that has natural leadership qualities, whether your voice is more pronounced, or you walk in a certain way, or you dress in a certain way. There's something about that feels trusting, like, okay, Leo can handle this, And with that being said, there are Leos that can tend to rub people the wrong way. And with that being said, the thing about Leos is that they do care a lot about what people think about them. And sometimes that could be very challenging, because it's about knowing that you exist this way for a reason. You are born under this part of the sky for a reason. And oftentimes, a lot of people may have challenges about that themselves, right? They're not as confident, they're not as forthright. And that you projecting that to the world can make people feel uncomfortable. And I would say Leos shouldn't feel too concerned about, well, to be honest, I don't think they really do care. I feel like they care and they don't. Like, as long as they don't internalize it to the degree that they're going into that shadow self and they're really doing everything just for people to like them. And the reality is that people generally do deep down. It's just that the way they articulate it, the way they get frustrated by it, is that because the confidence is so strong, it's you're there to teach them, even without speaking, that this is something they can embody as well. And you're under the sign of the sun. It will hit hard because you come under that fiery element. When you think of the sun at its highest degree, you got to take off your clothes because it's too hot. You can either think, oh gosh, it's so hot, or you can think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do these activities in this lovely weather. So it really depends on how you want to react to this fire sun energy. And so that's Leo sun. So you have Leo rising and you have Leo moon, and they alchemize themselves in very different ways. A Leo rising will probably have this energy of it. They just appear as a Leo. Maybe they were like, oh, and because it's such a strong sign, that could overshadow maybe your actual sun. Let's say you're an Aquarius sun, but you're a Leo moon. So really and truly, you really come across as a Leo moon. Or you have a stellium, which is 3 or more planets in your chart. I think did I? Yes, I did. I think I did when you have 3 or more signs in your chart, I think I did the Sun's Gemini. Whether it's in the 5th house, because the house of Leo, it belongs to the 5th house. So whether you have 3 or more planets in that house, or in fact, let me just draw, make it easier for myself. So the 5th house and how this Leo energy works, it would work in the same way. The energy of whether it's like let's say let's say Mars is in your 5th house. And let's say Jupiter and Mercury. I don't know those who are watching how familiar you are with the symbols. So I'm just gonna now, when you're studying your chart, it's like it's literally alchemy. It's looking at either or. So we know apologies. I don't know why I did that. So anytime you're looking at your chart, consider the natal houses, or where they feel at home, or where they are at home. So already there's a lot of elements here. And already, if you understand that the fifth house is Leo, which is a fire sign, you can see how this works for you. Now, the fifth house talks about romance, love, affairs. It's about fertility. It can also display drama. But overall, it's a sign of creativity. So creation is like fertility. You bring things forth into this realm. Romance is creative. Everything is very theatrical, right? I think it's fair to say Leos can be called drama queens. So even this energy of 5, if you are, this goes into numerology, but if you are if your numerology number is 5, you will carry some of this kind of energy as well. And it's very attractive sign as well. So Leos tend to be very attractive. Like everybody's just drawn to them, they're whether they like it or not. So it's one of those very interesting signs to exist in. So and you will feel that if you have a stellium, which is 3 or more planets in your chart, whether it's in the 5th house, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whichever house. And it's how that energy plays. I just put the 5th house just because it is the house where Leo lives. And how this alchemizes one another is like, say, Mercury is about communication. There's something very benevolent about the way in which maybe how you talk. Maybe you have a very creative or playful way in which you can bring forth imagination and ideas to people that captivate them, and they're naturally just drawn to your words. So it's alchemizing these things. So like I said in my other videos, it would be a good idea to draw out, right, or make notes, especially those who have more placements that you're very attuned to learning by writing notes. Maybe it's easier for you to be visual. And once you're doing that, being able to break down the chart in a way that you understand all the placements, all the signs, all the elements that it's under, and see how that works in a very personified way. So that's Leo. Now, in terms of interpersonal connections, Leos get a lot of hate, but Leos also get a lot of love. People have an irrational feeling towards Leos, and they know it. They're just like, I don't know what's wrong with these guys, you know? And again, like I said, it's about not worrying too much about that. It's being on the highest end of who you are and how you exist, right? I think even it'd be fair to say, like, they could even be obsession when it comes to Leo, even an unnatural one. I would even say the same for first house. Not first house, same for Scorpio. Because sometimes I can even look at someone and be like, they have a Leo or Scorpio. They're given this kind of edge, or they might have Scorpio in their first house or something. But like, Leos have this air about them that I think how people react to them is how they're feeling about themselves. And I think that's a good note for anybody who has any strong elements of Leo, whether it's the stellium, whether it's their sun, moon. I would even say, so let's leave it at that. And be able to observe that and say, okay, well, I don't want this person to be jealous of me, or you don't, because Leos naturally draw a lot of people to them. It's you're drawing literally everything and anything. And so I would say with the Leo energy that it's understanding who is for you, who is with you, who's looking at you in terms of jealousy, or having the what's it called, the green eyes, or being envious basically, and having discernment to say that just because somebody's with you is because they want to draw from your energy. You're the sun. You have so much energy. You have so much to give. And the thing about Leos are very loving, very caring. They have very big hearts. But one thing about Leos is they know that something isn't quite right. Yeah, they're not going to make a it's tricky, because sometimes it's like, because they've got big hearts and because they are a fixed sign, and the fixed signs have an issue with this, right? So we got our Taurus, Leo, Scorpios, Aquarius. Sometimes they can stay in a situation or with an idea that doesn't serve them, because maybe they find out that somebody isn't necessarily the best person around them, or they're I would say the Leo energy, they would definitely need people that are very secure in themselves, because you are secure in yourself. I'd say Aquarius is very good, very, very good for Leos when it comes to connection. So whether that's friendship, whether that's relationships, whatever, like Aquarius would be very good. Taurus would be very good. I think all of these, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, because they're all fixed signs. And one thing about these kind of signs, they're very loyal. Once they know that they're with you, like, oh my gosh, Aquarius, oh my gosh, like, that's why I say Aquarius and Leos work very well together, because once they've made up their mind that you're theirs, they won't leave you alone. They won't at all. And it's the same with Scorpio, Taurus. Yeah, they have all that kind of that energy to, like, it's possessive. But it's because they're like, no, I've made up my mind. This is you're my person. And even if you tell them, hey, look, I don't think this person is the right person, sometimes when they're on their darker side, they don't want to listen. They think that they know what's best. And sometimes, like a lot of the times, fixed signs can get into a space of getting in very tricky scenarios. I'm going to call them tricky, that keep looping or keep repeating the same cycles over and over again, and just hoping for the best because they're so determined in life that they alchemize that in every area of their life. And then they sometimes project that onto other people. Like, if I'm hardworking and you're around me, then you must also be hardworking. And that's why I can see, even with friendships with Leos, that could be very exhausting, because if you're firing away and like you have somebody that hasn't got that same work ethic, it could make them feel that energy that you're projecting onto them, they don't know how to hold it, you know? So Leos is a very, very, like, if you have some strong aspects in it, it is going to help you to push through things or manifest through things that you would want. And it's a very nice attribute to have in your chart, and can help you around certain things. But yes, if you have stelliums, sometimes that could be better, because you can work with different elements. As we got here, we got earth, water, and fire. And it can really help you alchemize whatever house that is in. Not whatever house is in, whatever planets are in there, right? And what is next to it as well. So, yeah, I think I'm leaving anything out when it comes to Leos. I'd say that the darker side of Leos is the egotistical aspect, where they think they're right and they might not be right. And I think because they have this side of them that they can get most of the things that they want, they automatically will line that with whatever. I know how to do things, so I know everything, and that's not always the case. And that's why I think like a sign like Aquarius or a Scorpio would be very good in terms of, like, I would even say as best friends or partners or whatever. Like, they would make very good, even Leos and Leos, I'd say, if they can get out of the way of maybe not competing with each other, because that's also there. Leos are very competitive. They could lean very heavy if it's healthy competition, I'd say. They could grow and magnify very well. I'd say, so we've said some really, really positive stuff about Leo, but the darker side is, I think I have said it, like wanting attention. And maybe by any means, you're going to try and get that attention. Finding it hard to be sorry, or maybe having the last say. But yeah, I think when it comes to Leos, even because I would even say Leo males and Leo females are that these energies, in even how they alchemize themselves within this Leo energy, which is a very masculine energy, are very important to note. From my understanding, when it comes to Leo men, They're naturally just very, very charming, generally very beautiful. And because they have that charm and it's natural, and they are, and because of this wanting attention, I think once you can rise above that, Leos, like that'd be really great, because you can draw so much attention, kind of like kind of like a Sagittarius. You can say, okay, how can I abuse this, or can I use it for good, and so I think I would say for Leos, masculine or feminine, I would say more masculine, to be fair. Yeah, they can be definitely prone to not being so loyal. And I think when you exist in a space where your people are naturally drawn to you, or you can naturally just have access to certain things, you can take advantage of that attribute. And but because Leos are very, like, they think very deeply about people. So even if they may be messing around or this kind of stuff, they think very deeply about everybody they've interacted with. So it's to a Leo's disservice to not kind of be loyal or kind of be dishonest, because they're actually hurting themselves, because they naturally don't exist like that. They have big hearts. They hold people so dearly to them. So yeah, I would say it doesn't really work out, even though someone's dangling that opportunity. Sometimes I think the most attractive thing for a Leo is to know that they could, but shouldn't do it, When it comes to, what else is there? Yeah, being a bit of a drama queen is definitely, both male and female, is definitely up there. And that could mean that they're not really actualizing the things that they want to do in life, because Leos always dream big. They always want, and if they're not getting it, they may want to lean either on their friends, family, or partners to kind of soothe them, like, oh, it's okay, Leo, like, it's okay. And because your energy is so strong, it's not everyone. And that's why I say, like, just because you have so many people drawn to you, it doesn't mean that you should take them in. Sometimes it's categorizing them, the people that can get to that part of your heart. Yeah, if Leos like you, they're going to gift you all the time. They're going to think about you all the time. If they're going out shopping or whatever, they're going to be like, oh yeah, so-and-so likes this, or so-and-so likes that. So they do very well when it comes to giving back or being very thoughtful. But yeah. All right, so you got your celebs. So you got Barack Obama, which you can tell, like, I don't even know if you remember this time where he was having an interview. He's just so slick with it, right? The way he walks, the way he talks, very slick. I'm not really going to get into the political angle of it. I'm just talking about how he comes across, because again, when it comes to Leos, they do have a dark side, and sometimes they are dibbling and dabbling into things that they shouldn't be doing, because they like intensity. They are the sun, and sometimes when they're not realizing their potential or realizing what they truly want to do, they may kind of go into things that maybe they shouldn't. But yeah, so Barack Obama had an interview, and there was a fly. I like to call the spy fly. Okay, there was a fly, and in mid-conversation, he just swatted it. I was like, oh my gosh, that is the most slickest thing I've seen. But that's who they are. They embody this kind of like stardom status, or like save the day, or like everyone will just look at them, right, in a very strong way, I would say. But yeah, they can definitely, because they're in the limelight, everything is highlighted. Like I said, with Aries, they're not so highlighted. Even though they're a fire sign, they don't get that illumination, because they don't necessarily, literally, Leo is literally, their symbol is the sun, so yeah, if they make a wrong move, it's going to be seen. People are going to talk about it. People are going to either sometimes even revel in it because they see your power, they see your strength. So yeah, it's definitely being able to work out not like that aspect of not caring so much just because you do care about what people think about you. You got Jennifer Lopez. She's a tricky one as well. Super talented. That's one thing about Leos, man. Like when they put their mind to something, or they're like also got some skills, like they're just not like she can do it all, you know. And but a lot of people don't like Jennifer Lopez. And you know, she's associated herself with people and things that, you know, maybe she shouldn't. And she's gone through a lot of different relationships. And yeah, you know, Leos can definitely, if they want validation, or they can be so addicted to validation, if they're not getting it, then, you know, they're gonna have to go elsewhere, or they're gonna cause, you know, issues. So that would be the very biggest aspect of Leo, to work through their own self-love and self-worth, and to not lean on their partner for that, like at all. It is not worth it. It's not worth it. But being able to just know when to even say no, right, to something. So we have Meghan Markle, again, another villain that not to say I personally think she's a villain, but like just in society, how she's looked at, like people, she has an energy about her. Again, she's in the spotlight. People will have very strong views about this lady. And so, okay, so let's keep going. So we've got Halle Berry, we've got Madonna, J.K. Rowling, Matt LeBlanc from Friends, Lawrence Fishburne, he was Morpheus, right, from Matrix, Enid Blyton. I only put Enid Blyton. I didn't know that Enid Blyton was a Leo, but when I was a kid, my mom used to always give me these books. I don't know if it came from a magazine, I don't know, but there was this book called The Faraway Tree, and I was like, yeah, she must have some Pisces elements in her chart to make that book. But I really loved that book, and I think it was The Naughtiest Kid Ever or something like that. But yeah, Enid Blyton is one of those classics. But I didn't know she was a Leo, so that's cool. And Viola Davis as well. So I didn't know Viola Davis was a Leo, but yeah, that's your video, Leo, for the Leo energy. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if this connects in any way. And of course, it's also, this is also, you can look at Leo, but you also can look at my other videos of all the energies, because all of them will predominantly be in your chart, or understanding the houses a bit more. So have a look at the other videos so that you can start doing the work. Like I would say, even just start, like if you're really, you know, following me on this channel, like get a notebook, start making notes. But this is about you. This is about how things are manifesting in your chart. Draw out your chart, kind of work it out slowly. You know, you've got squares, you've got sextiles, you've got trines, but those are a bit more, I would say, advanced astrology of reading your chart. I would say right now, if you're just taking time to just look at the feel and energy of where these where the stelliums are. Again, that's 3 or more planets in one house, and looking at the chart overall, right? And once you're able to do that, then you can kind of keep writing notes, because this would be a book about you. So whether it's part of your journal to do it or whatever, like I really encourage you to start scrutinizing self and seeing where you can alchemize things. Yeah, so that's it. That's your video, Leo, and I will see you in the next one.